Diaries of a Madman. By What Must I Do? Chapter 199. Part 5 of 5. We appeared in Athena's realm. She and Hera were sitting at a small table. Hera's chair was sitting on a nice rug, the same one I brought her in exchange for that mare's life. For once, Hera wasn't wearing her veil. Her bewitching beauty didn't seem to have any effect on Taya, thankfully. So, we'll have access to Eris's brain for quite some time, Hera said. Do you think we'll have time to force her into our service? That would be impossible, Athena said. Navarrone's mind is guarded in a way that we can't breach. The machines she found protect her from mental interference. Ugh, boring. What's even the point of letting her do it here, then? Her daughter will likely visit often. As will others that you may enjoy petting, like that alicorn who just popped in a few times. You should have let her stay. Hera said. She was the perfect height to ride and she looked much hardier than the others. She'd take to being my pet so much better. She happens to be one of Navarrone's vassals, so she's off limits to keep as a pet. That said, you can play with her while she's here, along with Nav's other guests. Ooh, can I play with Eris's body, too? Hera sweetly asked. She's so bony. With a few weeks and the right nutrients, I can easily make her healthy again. I might even toss in a few magical beauty touch-ups for free. She has requested to be fed, so making her healthy is acceptable. However, I doubt Nav would appreciate being made beautiful. After all, she was once a man. So what? Hera asked. That doesn't give her any right to look so met. If she's forced into that body anyway, she might as well make the best of it. And that would be much easier with a nicer figure, wouldn't it? Eris is the only human-like creature out there, right? Do you really want to let her run around looking like that? She should represent our species better. Athena rolled her eyes. It's beginning to sound like nothing I say will stop you. I'm sure Eris will thank me for it once she wakes up. And even if she is upset, what's she going to do about it? I bet she'll look really frustrated and cute when she realizes she can't do anything to me. I can't believe you chose to specialize in that kind of magic, of all things, Athena said, shaking her head in disappointment. Athena, we're both trapped in an incredibly boring pocket world, Hera said with a small smile. The only difference is that I look young and beautiful at all times while you look like an old boot. How's the magic that you specialize in working out for you? I would say your information collection was going well, if anything was organized enough for you to actually find it. But without my specialty magic, this entire place was just a dusty old tomb manned by what looked like an ancient evil lich. Now it's starting to look like a proper library with a beautiful librarian at its heart. With, you know, a withered old mummy that likes wandering around from time to time. To me, appearances stopped mattering after the first 10 or so thousand years, Athena said. What's the point in maintaining an image if no one ever gets to see it? Self-satisfaction, obviously, Hera said. I know I prefer looking like this. You know, I probably could fix your appearance up. It would either take a decade or a few gallons of virgin blood, though. Unnecessary. Eris might not wince as much every time she sees you. Navarrone's sensibilities are trivial. It doesn't matter if my appearance is distasteful. Despite saying that, she still sounded a little sad. It's not that I wanted to find her gross, it's just that she kinda was gross. Beautify Nav if you must. I am not interested. Suit yourself, Hera said. We really should think of ways of getting closer to her, though. If she owns that super powerful princess now, doesn't that make her powerful in the real world? Indeed. It's likely she's in the top 10 most powerful people on the planet. Obviously, that means Discord is going to be giddy to turn her quickly. I can tell that the rate at which she's acquiring new body parts has accelerated. That's why she wants us to cut them off, right? Hera asked. It'll be fun cutting up something Discord created. And watching her regrow will be good data, Athena said. I've wanted a tree sister as a specimen for a while. I'm quite interested in some of their advanced abilities, namely seed generation. Unfortunately, Navarone is likely a few years away from that skill, but whenever she obtains it, I have some seeds for her to clone. Is that the one that lets them change a type of seed from one thing to another? Hira said. It's been ages, but I remember keeping a few as slaves so they could use seeds of grass to create orchards of exotic fruits. That's the one, Athena said. Over the generations, I've gathered quite a number of miracle crop seeds. They're all carefully preserved, but their quantities are limited. Oh ho, that's quite the bargaining chip, Hira said with a big grin. If you dangle that in front of those lesser races, they'll be sure to start worshipping us. We can't return to the world anytime soon, Athena said. The number of worshippers required for us to step foot outside this book is higher than the number of those currently alive. Remember, the worship from Fae counts as less than that of humans. The beings that inhabit the world now aren't even full Fae. Even if they did worship us, the boost in power wouldn't be enough for us. Without more crops to increase their numbers, we'll be stuck in here forever. But I highly doubt giving them food will be enough to make them worship us. After all, it's difficult to maintain power over a group you can't directly touch. So what's the plan to bring humanity back? Hira asked. Navarone has gone back in time, to when humanity still lived, Athena said. She believes it's possible to create a portal to the past, something that would let her ferry people forward in time. Isn't time travel incredibly forbidden? Hira asked. I remember anyone trying to unlock those doors being put to death. Things appear to be different now, Athena said. And more to the point, Navarone explained her personal theory, as someone who has actually been to the past. It's all part of the same time loop. There's no chance to create an alternate future. If, right now, you went back in time and did something, you could open a book and find your name in history doing that thing at that time. In Navarone's case, when she went back in time, the video of a military faction subduing and kidnapping what looked like an angel kicked off a huge storm of events that ended up with everything destroyed. The fact that everything got destroyed led to Discord meeting Dr. Anonymous in the bunker. That led to Navarone being created as heiress in a hellish post-apocalyptic wasteland ruled with an iron hoof by a princess masquerading as a goddess of the sun. And eventually, that led to Navarone going back in time to try to escape. So, if Eris went back to rescue humans, it just means those humans disappeared back then, only to reappear here in the future. Exactly, Athena said with a nod. Obviously time traveling all willy-nilly is idiotic. But if you can target a specific point in time with a specific goal like rescuing someone before they would have died, I see no harm. So why not just get Eris to rescue our worshippers? Hira asked. I had plenty that were murdered. I think some of my entire cities even got sacked. Targeting those points in time will be difficult. Apparently Navarone left something in the past, so targeting the bunker she went to should be easy. Perhaps after that foray, the mages she employs will be able to use it as a reference point. If so, we can use any history book to pick locations to rescue people. With luck, we can get enough of them to worship us so we can leave. That would be perfect, Hira said with a nod. Both of them fell silent for around 15 or so seconds. Finally, Hira cleared her throat and looked away, a small blush coming to her face. So, Athena, have you ever squirted before? Of course. My partners were not so grotesque as that beast who claimed you. Sex is quite the delightful thing. It's a shame you've never been able to enjoy it. Do you think Eris might be willing to worship a beautiful goddess? Hira sweetly asked. I believe I know a goddess or two who kept female worshippers quite close. If it takes a female to please female, like Eris said, it certainly makes sense. I think Nav might be willing to worship your body, though only temporarily, Athena said. But I don't think she'd be willing to worship any god or goddess. Ugh, then what use is she? Now I'm glad that making her beautiful will annoy her. I'm sure Nav is going to be ever so grateful she helped rescue you, Athena sarcastically said. Good. Hera shouted. Because I'm a wonderful treasure. Eris should be thankful for the opportunity to meet me. And she should give her filly to me, too. I've already told you, no pets allowed, Athena said. Especially not someone close to Nav. Why are you still calling her that, anyway? Hera asked. It's only a matter of time before she loses herself over to Discord, even with our help. Perhaps. But until she does, I intend to keep treating her like a human. After all, despite how she feels about me, she still treats me like one. Besides, why use the name a monster gave her? Because she was created by that monster, Hera said. I mean, the thought of her obtaining a soul is a pipe dream, right? Discord would never allow it. That's not necessarily so, Athena said. The legends about Eris state that Discord rarely, if ever, directly intervenes. And even then, it's only to annoy her, never to stop her. Why bother playing a game you can't lose, after all? That said, it's what comes after she gets a soul that concerns me. It seems Discord has been sitting back and watching the world. He might begin to act if his game finally ends. Eris said she was the last, right? Hera said. This game has been going on for a while now. I guess it would make sense for Discord to get more active if he gets a wife. I bet he will be grateful that I made her pretty. Perhaps, if his gratitude is something you desire. Though I believe your standards of beauty and his wildly differ. Oh, you're right. Ugh, I still remember his first heiress. I guess in that case, the current heiress should be thankful that she gets to experience being pretty before getting turned into an abomination for eternity. I'm sure if you explain it to her properly, she'll thank you, Athena said. Ooh, do you think she'll be thankful enough to help me squirt? Hera asked. Athena answered with a sigh. That finally made everything grey. So, what the fuck, I said. Taya, did you notice anything weird about my body? The only parts of your body we can see are your head, your wings, and your tail, she replied. Everything else has been covered the entire time. Hera told us that it was to help you heal. Did Aqua or Flo notice anything? They've been too focused on the coma and healing you to pay attention to anything else, the guide said. But this is the last memory you will see, so you will soon discover the changes to your body. Well, pondering it won't help. Let's hear the takeaways, I guess. The first is what you just discussed, Fear said. Hera has no problem whatsoever with modifying your body. She apparently chose to do it without permission, without caring what you thought. Which is a bad thing, of course, Reason added. I looked around and saw that it was just them. It might be wise to find a way to get rid of Hera. I know. I just don't know how. I'll see if I can talk to Athena about it discreetly. Before that, you should take advantage of another takeaway, Reason said. Hera said Athena would be fixable with a few gallons of virgin blood. That should be really easy to obtain, now that you own Celestia. That's true, I said. We can crowdsource the blood so no one has to die to provide it. Assuming pony blood works the same as human blood, at least. I'll ask them about it and see if it would work and if Athena would be interested. It would be nice to be able to talk to her without squirming, Fear said. At least you don't have to worry about her finding out that you find her appearance unsightly, since she already knows. You're so bad at hiding your feelings, Eris. Hearing her call me that actually made me flinch. Her giggles at my reaction were eerily sweet. As I said, I'll discuss that with them. I'm not really sure what restoring Athena would entail, but at least she wouldn't be all wrinkled up anymore. I imagine moving around would be easier for her, too. Is she really that ugly? Taya asked. I honestly can't tell. I always just figured you were the most beautiful human, so the rest were all ugly by default. Yet Hera seems to think she's the most beautiful, followed by you, then Athena. That's the proper order, I replied with a nod. Hera's beauty is otherworldly. It's obvious she's a true goddess. I'm pretty at best, mediocre to normal at worst. Athena is hideous. I don't guess I care too much if Hera makes me prettier, depending on what she does. I don't need giant tits that destroy my back. But if she just changes my face a little, I don't guess it'll cause any harm. It's still inappropriate to do without asking, though. At least she doesn't need any virgin blood for you, Taya said. That must mean you're leagues above Athena, right? Oh yeah. I said hideous instead of ugly for a reason. When I first met Athena, it took me a few seconds to realize she was human, or something close to it. My first thought was that she was an undead of some kind. Anyway, talking about it is rude. If we can fix it, great. If not, oh well. What's the next takeaway? Why did you discuss sex in such detail with Hera? Fear asked. It seems she is quite interested in borrowing your services. I did it because I'm a horny idiot, I said. And as long as I have a choice in the matter, I'm not having sex with that woman. She scares me way too much for that. Wow, is she really that scary? Taya asked. I mean, you're having sex with Luna and Kot now, right? Even after all they did to scare you. Yes, Hera really is that scary, I said. She's more powerful and psychotic than Luna. I've learned my lesson about sticking anything inside of crazies, especially crazies who are insanely powerful. Luna and Kot are vassals, so they couldn't hurt me without permission. Whereas the only thing stopping Hera from keeping me as her pet chimera is Athena. And if I become a pet to Hera, that means she no longer considers me a human and there's no telling what kind of fate I might endure. So I'd rather just do the smart thing and find a way to get rid of Hera before she becomes a problem. You're such a tease, Fear said. First you get Hera feeling hot and heavy and now you're refusing to take responsibility? My oh my, she'll be quite displeased. Hopefully I can survive that, I said. And if not, that's why I have backups. The point remains, as long as I'm given the choice, I'm not looting Hera. And if she threatens you with force? Reason ask. I'll do whatever she wants without question, I immediately replied. Assuming Athena does nothing to help me, obviously. Wait, that doesn't make sense, Taya said. You're willing to spend a backup on her if she gets displeased because you say no, but if she just threatens you, you'll give in. If I say no and she immediately lashes out, there's nothing I can do about that, I said. It meant it made her angry enough that she became completely unreasonable. With luck, that means whatever she does will be either minor or instantly lethal. However, if she's calm enough to actually threaten me, that means she'll be more careful. I don't want to do anything with her, but it's better than being tortured. Athena said Hera doesn't specialize in combat magic, but I'm extremely confident that either of them could tear me apart with ease. Enough experiences have made me pragmatic about the whole affair. That's really sad, Taya quietly said. You wouldn't even try to defend yourself. Not against someone I obviously can't win against, unless I think they're just going to torture me anyway. But Hera doesn't seem the type to enjoy needless violence, so she wouldn't do anything as long as I obeyed. Didn't she skin someone for calling her a monster? Reason asked. That obviously wasn't needless, at least to Hera, I said. After all, he insulted a goddess. That means he had to pay, right? But if I'm paying my proper respects to a beautiful goddess by making her feel something she's never felt before, I don't think she'll need violence. I just really hope it doesn't come to that. Now, what's the next takeaway? The last takeaway involves the people you want to save, Fear asked. Are you really sure you want to bring humans forward in time? There will be no undoing it. Yes, I do want to bring them forward in time. And, judging off Athena's explanation for time travel, it's probable that I do end up bringing them forward in time. What makes you say that? Taya asked. Well, think about it, I said. Jonathan, the AI we found at the bunker, said he was there to help me build a future place for humanity. He obviously wouldn't be there to help me if I never went back in time again to actually help save people. Otherwise, he would have been there to attack me. But until discord is dealt with, I don't think we can bring humanity back. More of us might make him too powerful. I'd also like to start with humans other than those at the bunker, but as they explained, that might not be possible. It might be better this way, to be honest, Reason said. The bunker has several skilled specialists who can make rebuilding a technological society much easier. Their expertise will assist in preparing places for others you save. All of that is unnecessary, I said. I can prepare places for them. But I guess it will make people feel better to be involved in their new homes. I'm incredibly worried about the humans trying to take over everything, but if I rule over them all to the point where I'm as bad as Celestia, what would even be the point in saving them? I think the short-lived humans would be in for a very rude awakening should they try targeting some races, Fear said. I'm sure a sniper round could take down an unwary unicorn, but now that you've seen more of what magic can really do, are you as confident that human weapons trump magic? Yes. However, I also recognize that it would take the humans decades to get to the point where they'd be comfortable trying to actually start something. And by that point, I think they'd understand that trying wouldn't be wise. Especially since, at that point, I'll have Tartarus conquered and a huge chunk of the world basically under my control. That'll also include a revitalized military and police force. I'm not allowing any more crime syndicates in my countries. With luck, all of that will mean the humans will come to the future and live mostly in peace. And if they ever do start something, we curb stomp them, Taya said with a grin. Correct, I replied, patting her head. If they want to stand a chance against what I'm going to build, they'll need to start learning about magic from day one. So, was that really the last takeaway? It surely was, the guide said. The last takeaway of the last memory. All that's left is the relatively short finale, unless there's anything else you'd like to discuss about this memory. Not in particular, I said with a shrug. Taya. I kinda liked Hira's belly rubs before, but then she called you a monster. I don't think I'll let her pet me anymore. Be careful, I said. I told her that she wouldn't want you as a pet because your personality wouldn't take to it well. She said that breaking you would be the best part. Taya actually shivered. She really is scary. Right? Don't go in there without me from now on. Got it. Though I don't know if I want to go back at all. That might be better. Anyway, I guess we can move on to the short finale. As you desire, our guide said. She slid on over and hugged us both. We appeared back in Flo's glade. A few seconds later, the guide released us and slid back. We were joined by all 8 of the representations. Luna, who had become my fear, stared at me blankly. Blaze, who for some reason embodied my rage, was glaring at me. Kot, the one who caused me so much pain, was wearing her normal crazy smile. Moonbeam, who beat the odds to become love, looked down at me with a surprisingly mother-like gaze. Taya, the filly who forced herself into my world and became my hope, was bouncing in place for some reason. Spike, the friend who had come to most embody pride, was smiling at me in joy. Twilight, the mare who obviously had to be reason, looked disappointingly bored. Cadance, who will probably be furious when she finds out she got passion instead of love, was quietly giggling about something only she knew. Well, the gang's all here, I said. I'd like to start by saying thanks for showing me all of this. I'm not sure if you guys consider this work or anything, but it was a really cool and useful experience. That almost makes up for how little we got out of it, the guide said. Most people don't thank us when we're done mucking about in their mind. This is the second or third time I've gotten the feeling that I didn't quite know what I signed up for, I said. Are you guys actually a part of me, or did the spell Twilight cast invite some kind of spirit inside of me? The latter, the guide said. They're not allowed to break character, even now, but I can get away with it. We're spirits who enjoy tinkering about with memories and emotions. The spell is a form of contract that allows us access to your memories. We can't do anything to alter them, but we can peruse them at will and use what you'd call spooky voodoo bullshit to invade certain parts of the memories of those close to you. We're equal parts depressed and overjoyed to work with you. So I guess this is basically entertainment for you guys, while it acts as therapy for us, I said. Makes sense. So why the two polar opposites? We're depressed because so many of your memories are horrible. We're also upset that you're only technically 7 or 8 years old. Even your filly would have had more memories. Next time, you should bring us Luna. That mare obviously has some things to work out and we'd have a field day in there. And we're overjoyed because human memories are so tasty, even when they're provided by a soulless abomination. We're kinda like changelings in that we feed on emotions, but we don't actually require them to survive. We just require them to feel anything ourselves. That's why we all pick roles as we play through. As we go through your memories and interact with you, we get more and more emotions to work with. Makes sense, I guess. I don't imagine too many people see through the act, though. Not too many people even bother coming, the guide said with a sigh. You happen to get lucky for a variety of reasons, but most people who come here aren't as well trained or as mentally fit. They get bogged down in their memories and are too broken by the things that happened behind their backs. You've already been stabbed in the back so many times that, while some of what you saw was certainly shocking, nothing here ever stood a chance of breaking you. At least there's that. Anyway, this probably isn't part of the finale. Shall I let you get back into character? Of course, though my part is mostly done. For now, I'll let them talk. As I'm sure you've seen by now, I am your strongest ally, Reason said. As a human, there is nothing wrong with that. However, you rely on me way too much, to the point where you're beginning to lose yourself. You have much you can rely on instead, Passion said. Things you thought forgotten. Things you thought lost. Things that have been hidden and quiet for so long that they may feel unfamiliar. But it's the time for new beginnings. You can't let reason continue to be your sole ally. You've been struggling to avoid changing the world for so long, and doing so has driven you into depression. Now that you've finally decided to change things, your passions can begin flaring. And some things that have been hidden can be expressed, Rage coldly said. You are correct when you say that hurting others is wrong, but there are ways to express anger aside from yelling or hurting. The fact that you can't consider any alternatives is only a sign that you have hidden things inside for too long. You can be angry and productive instead of angry and destructive. It just takes channeling your anger instead of allowing it to blow. And some things that you express too openly might be better kept to certain avenues, Pain said. Telling everyone in a random conversation how much agony you're in doesn't help anyone, you or them. However, when your friends are there and trying to help you, opening up to them would be wise. Hiding me inside all the time just lets me have you all to myself. I think we both know how much fun that is. She certainly sounded overjoyed, that's for sure. Even if the pain begins to wear you down, remember the things you've accomplished, Pride said. All of the pain you've been through has meant something. You've done amazing things and built an incredible place for everyone around you. All of those close to you are loyal to the bone. That's something you can always find solace in, no matter how far down your spirits may tumble. And some things that have been holding you back should do so no longer, Fear said. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something that might make the world better out of fear of what might happen? You've seen now the consequences for both helping and doing nothing. They are equal, either way. To that end, do not fear the consequences of doing your best. If people will be hurt regardless of your choices, it is better that you at least help those you can help. It's time to stop being a depressing whiny crybaby, Hope sweetly said. You have so much to look forward to, fake mommy. Assuming you survive what Discord has in mind, your future is obviously gonna be amazing. Stop looking back and obsessing on your pain and start looking forward with hope for the future. You didn't want to be created by Discord and thrust into this fate, but nobody asks to be born. It's time for you to accept your lot in life, accept that you have a cursed existence, and start trying to get beyond that. You'll never be happy if you can't. And finally, it's time to open your heart, Love said. At this point, you seem to have come to the conclusion that love is a choice. That means something is preventing you from making the choice to fall in love. I could start listing out reasons left and right, and being in this coma has shown us all quite a few, but before you can find someone to marry, you need to figure out how to truly open your heart. Otherwise, the marriage will just be a hollow shell. Love may be a choice, but that doesn't mean it lacks requirements. Keep that in mind as you consider your options, and always remember that compromise is everything. With that, the spirits fell silent. So, how do you feel? Taya asked. To be honest, not all that different from when I started, I said. A part of me was expecting the coma to actually rewrite me as a person. Instead, it was a super intense hypnotherapy session starring a bunch of pseudo-changelings. To be honest, I definitely needed it. Seeing what everyone's been up to behind my back has been valuable beyond all measure. And being given all these perspectives is even better. So I guess I do feel good. I'm glad I decided to do this. I feel like I need a week-long nap, though. You've already been asleep for 3 weeks. Taya said. Only my body. My mind has been going through all kinds of weird bullshit. This coma has been enlightening, but exhausting. Are you ready to go back, then? Taya asked. Not really, I said. I don't want to go do things and deal with people. Hope loudly ahemed at me. But I know I gotta. After all, I am a lady. I can't just abandon my household. We both have responsibilities now, Taya. Oh wow, you actually sounded like an adult. Taya said. Way to go, mommy. Don't bully your mother, I said. Now then, was that the closing message? This is your last chance to kill any of them, the guide said. It won't actually affect the spirits, but it will allow us to permanently change how you perceive the world, to the point where it would remove the corresponding feeling. No, I'm good, I said. I considered killing fear and pain, but I'm guessing Flo had a reason to say it was a bad idea. Then this is farewell for now, the guide said, turning pink and bowing. I do hope you'll have another huge mental crisis that will allow us to visit again in another few hundred years. You'll have so many more fun memories by then. With that relatively ominous message, everything started slowly fading until everything was completely black. End of chapter 199.